This is Embers in the Ashes, and the official audiobook-style version of the released novel of Embers in the Ashes. Embers in the Ashes is written by Gabrielle Fulcher. Special thanks to Trent Landenberger, Ty Chilcutt, Jacob Lugin, and Sam Morales. This chapter and episode was recorded in Lubbock, Texas of 2026. Enjoy. Chapter 9. Jackson. The great doors of the council chamber groaned open, their ancient hinges protesting as though the room itself resisted what was about to be said. Heat lingered on my skin from Solera's flight, my cloak still faintly smoking at the edges as I stepped inside. The chamber was vast and circular, its dome ceiling etched with constellations of forgotten wars and half-fulfilled prophecies. 12 council members sat along the curved obsidian table, their faces carved with age, power, and fear. At the head sat my father, King Arion. I looked up the moment I entered, his expression unreadable, until his gaze flicked to the ring on my hand. His eyes narrowed, not in anger, but in recognition. "I didn't come for permission. Let's get that out of the way," I replied, my voice echoing across the stone. "I came because someone has been taken." A murmur rippled through the council. Father leaned back slowly. "Explain yourself to the council, not me. We have discussed this." I stepped forward, stopping at the center of the chamber, directly beneath the flame sigil embedded in the floor. It ignited at once, responding to the ember in my blood. "Ash is missing," I said. "This girl was taken from the human realm by the shadows." Silence slammed down like a blade. One of the elders, Counselor Vallis, robed in gray, spoke sharply. "This is impossible. The veil is warded. No shadow can cross without the ring being activated by the Chosen One," I cut in. "Which she has." Every counselor froze. My father rose from his seat and looked at me kindly, with a slight hint of pride. "The ring chose her," I said, lifting my chin. "It called to her. I watched it happen. She didn't steal it. She didn't even know what it was, but it responded to her ember, to her blood." Counselor Nix slammed her staff against the floor. "That ring is bound to royal ember, and yet it answered her," I snapped. "Because she is the chosen one." The words burned the air. The chamber erupted. "You can't be serious! The prophecy never named. She's human. The ring would never..." "Enough!" My father's voice roared through the chaos. Fire blared briefly in his eyes. The room fell silent in a heartbeat. He looked at me then, not as a king, but as a father trying desperately to understand my feelings. "Start from the beginning for the council," he said quietly, and I did. I told them about the pull of the ring, about the way it had glowed when Ash touched it, about the shadows watching her, about the smoke swallowing her whole while I stood helpless, too far away to stop it, and about the vision and how I know her name. When I finished, my hands were shaking. "She was taken because of me," I said hoarsely. "Because the shadows know what she is, what she will become." Counselor Velis folded his hands. "If what you say is true, then the prophecy is unfolding faster than we anticipated." Nix shook her head. "Or this is deception. The Shadow Lord is known for illusions." Solaris' presence stirred within me, a low, dangerous heat rolling through the chamber. "Say the word," she murmured in my mind. "I will remind them what truth smells like." I resisted the urge to smile. "She's not an illusion," I said firmly. "She is scared. She is alone, and she has the ring." That was when my father stepped down from the dais. Each step toward me echoed like a verdict. You were told not to involve yourself with a human girl, he said. You were told the risks. I was told to protect the realm, I shot back. And she is part of it. Whether you like it or not, the woman you betrothed me to is not the chosen, and I will not be marrying her. His jaw tightened. You left your post. I followed the prophecy. The prophecy does not give you the right to abandon your duty. No, I said, fire flaring in my chest. It defines my duty. The flame sigil beneath my feet surged, light crawling up the walls. I need to find her, I said, voice shaking with restrained fury. I am bonded to Solera. We carry the Ember. In fact, everyone here does, and now the Chosen One carries the ring. Whatever is coming faster than you could have imagined. The council exchanged uneasy glances. And if this is a trap? Velis asked. If the Shadow Lord wants you to follow? Then I'll walk right into it, I said without hesitation. Because leaving her there is not an option. My father stared at me for a long moment. Then quietly, he said, You sound just like your mother. The words hit harder than any rebuke. She would have crossed realms for anyone she loved, he continued. She would have defied this council without blinking. The chamber held its breath. The Ember Bearers will lead a retrieval mission. Gasps echoed. He cannot go alone with an army. This violates the risk. He will not go alone, my father interrupted. But he will go. He met my eyes again. Because if the girl truly holds the ring, then she is no longer just human. She is ours to protect, I said. No, he corrected softly. She is the realm's last hope. I bowed my head, fire steady in my veins. I will bring her home, I vowed, or I will burn the shadows to ash trying. Solaris's flame flared in agreement. This is my Ember, she said proudly. The council fell silent. This is Embers in the Ashes. I head toward the training grounds before the sun fully sets into the sky. The sounds reach me first. Steel striking steel in sharp, practice rhythms. The dull thud of bodies hitting packed earth. Shouting commands echoing across the open field. Each sound tightens something in my chest. Not with worry, but with pride. This is what readiness sounds like. As I draw closer, the air fills with heat and motion. Soldiers spar in tight formations, sweat-soaked and relentless. Along the far ridge, Phoenix Riders drill in the air, wings cutting clean arcs through the sky. Flames flicker briefly as one dives low before pulling back, perfectly controlled. My people train hard because they choose to. That knowledge steadies me. The moment I step onto the grounds, a few heads turn. Not out of fear or obligation, but recognition. They know my stride. They know my purpose. Training doesn't stop, but it sharpens. Focus narrowing like a blade. I scan the field and spot them easily. Ronan, my head trainer, standing at the center ring, arms crossed, eyes like iron as he watches a pair of soldiers spar. Scars map his skin like written history in flesh. He notices everything. Near the edge of the grounds, half in shadow stands Kale, my whisperer, still as stone, watching everything while giving nothing away. If Ronan is the hammer, Kale is the knife. I lift 2 fingers. They both come to me without question. What's wrong? Ronan asked immediately. No titles, no ceremony. Kale says nothing, but his gaze sharpens, already working through possibilities. I need your help, I said. Both of you. That's enough to still them completely. There's something missing, I continue. Someone I need to find. Ronan frowns. From the realm? No, I say. From another realm. That earns a look from both of them. Kale finally speaks. Why hadn't we heard of this person? And who are they? Because no one was supposed to, I reply. Silence stretches. She's human, I say carefully. She does not know about us, about this world. She was not trained, she was not prepared. Ronan's jaw tightens, and she was taken away. Yes, I say. Kale studies my face. You don't give this order lightly. I met his eyes. Her name is Ash. Neither of them react, but something changes. They are listening now. Truly listening. She matters to me, I say. Not as a symbol, not as a piece on the board, as a person. Ronan exhales slowly. Then say the word, and I'll move the mountains. I don't want noise, I say. I want precision. Kale nods once. I will send the whispers, quiet routes only, no questions asked. I want eyes on every thin place, I add. Every rumor of crossings, every anomaly that doesn't make sense. Someone pulled her through on purpose, and if whoever took her doesn't want to be found, Ronan asks, then we make them uncomfortable enough to make a mistake. I did not hesitate. And only us three do the searching, while the riders and whisperers watch and stay ready as needed. Ronan grins grimly. That I can do. I glance back at the grounds at the soldier starting to reset. Phoenixes circling above, embers drifting lazily from their wings. I don't want panic, I say, and I do not want the council involved. Not yet. They know we are leaving, but they do not need to know anything else. Kale tilts his head. This stays between us. Always, Ronan says. Good. Because if I'm right, if Ash was taken because of what she is, not who, then time is already against us. This is Embers in the Ashes. As they turn to carry out their orders, I look up to the sky, at the phoenixes wheeling overhead like living fire. Hold on, Ash. I'm coming. And whoever decided to pull you into this, they are going to regret it. Our soldiers get ready to take shifts and stay on guard until they hear from us, while the whisperers scatter like breath on glass. Some slip into markets and taverns, others into border towns and forgotten roads. They listen more than they speak, collect fragments most people discard. Rumors, disruptions, anything that might hint at where she was taken, or who dared to take her. Only then do I allow myself to leave and go to my room. My room feels bigger than I remember, and I miss the familiarities. I move quickly, packing a light riding bag, sliding a water skin, a trip of dried meat, and a small healing kit into the riding bag, along with 2 throwing knives, a worn map of the realm, and a single phoenix feather for fire or contact. Only what I need. Armor next. It looks like ordinary dark hide at first glance, but the leather has been treated with a paste made from crushed phoenix feathers, grounded down and fused into it. The result is armor that won't burn, will not scorch, will not melt no matter how close I get to flame. It smells freshly of ash and smoke, a scent that has followed me for most of my life. When I pull it on, it fits like a second skin, warm instead of cold, alive in a way normal armor never is. The leather stretches over my shoulders and chest, molding to muscle shaped by years of training, but it is the tattoos beneath that I'm most aware of. The ink runs across my arms, ribs, and back. Each mark was put there after something broke inside me. Some people drink, but I rather cope like this. I ink my pain into my skin, so it is somewhere to live that is not my head. As I fasten the straps, the leather pulls tight, hiding the tattoos from the world, but I still feel them there, grounding me. They remind me I have survived worse than whatever comes next. The metal plates go on after. Bracers, pauldrons, chest guard, locking into place with practiced ease. Their weight presses the leather and the ink beneath it, steady and constant, like a hand on my back, telling me not to fall apart. When I am done, the armor seals everything in. The fireproof leather, the scars, the memories, the anger. It does not ease what is in my mind, but it contains it. And some days, that's the only way I know how to keep moving. Familiar weight settles against my shoulders and chest, grounding me. Riding gears follow, piece by piece, until I feel like myself again. This is Embers in the Ashes. I find Ronan and Kale just outside the inner hall, already anticipating me. We will ride out in 10 nicks, I say. Ronan nods. Already the Eastern Watch. Kale's eyes flick towards the window. The whisperers will report directly to me. Anything solid reaches you immediately. Good. I hesitate, then add. John stays. Ronan arches a brow. He won't like that. I know. I glance toward Kale. That's why I need you to convince him. Kale smirks faintly. I'll handle it. John's job is to watch the kingdom, to feel the shifts before anyone else does. If ash appears, if something tears or bends that shouldn't, he will know, and he will alert me. With that settled, I turn down the corridor towards the outer quarters, but I don't make it far. Jackson! The voice makes my shoulders tense before I even turn. Carla stands near a pillar, dressed in pale silks that do not belong anywhere near armor and urgency. Her red hair falls perfectly into place, as if she has not moved all day, which makes me dislike this soon-to-be arranged marriage more. No one told me you were back, she says, her tone already edged with complaint. We should go for a walk. I missed you. The last thing I want to do is slow down and be with her. I'm busy, I say flatly. I don't have time for this. Her eyes widen. For this? What does that mean? She steps closer. What could possibly be more important? Everything. Solera comments in my head, and I can feel her roll her eyes. I have a duty, I said. I'm leaving. I will not be back for a while. She frowns, studying my face, then tilts her head, soft, rehearsed, doll-like. Something about it makes my stomach tighten. Then spend a moment with me, she presses. Just a moment. I can't. I step past her. Maybe go to your quarters and play with the maids. Her hand shoots out, fingers catching on the strap of my riding gear. She tugs hard enough to pull me off stride. Don't, I warn. She ignores it. Instead, she leans in, trying to pull me closer, lips parting as if this is expected or owed. The reaction is instant. Bile floods my mouth, sharp and overwhelming, and I turn away, gagging as nausea claws up my throat. My skin crawls. Every instinct I have screams wrong. I shove her back. Don't ever do that again! I snap, breath uneven. Her face twists, shock, then anger. What is wrong with you? I don't know, I say, already moving away. But this, whatever this is, it's not happening. I don't love you and don't want this. I do not wait for her reply. This is Embers in the Ashes. I jog down the hall toward the stairs that will take me out of the castle and to the riding grounds. My pulse hammering, jaw clenched tight. The feeling lingers, sour and unsettling, long after she is out of sight. I really do not like her, Solera said, her voice stirring in the back of my mind like a low flame catching on dry wood. She gives me a bad feeling. I pause mid-step, my hand tightening around the strap of my armor. You don't like anyone, but I can't help but agree. Though I do think the king will not give me a choice, I muttered back, keeping my face neutral as a guard passes me in the hall. That is not true, she snapped, heart flailing faintly in my chest. I like you, and for what I feel, I like the girl with the stubborn eyes and the quiet fire. But Carla, she's just wrong. I exhale slowly. Solera's instincts had kept me alive more times than I could count. She sensed things long before I ever did. Carla's just inconvenient for me, I said, though the words tasted hollow even in my own head. No, Solera replied, sharper now. She smells like hunger. Not for you, for what you are, for what you carry. Images flicker at the edge of my thoughts. Carla's grip on my riding gear, the way her eyes had lingered too long, too focused. I pushed the memories aside. Maybe you're reading too much into it. Solera let out something like a scoff, a burst of warmth pulsing through my chest. I read flames, and hers burn crooked. I stopped walking altogether this time, jaw tightening. Are you saying she's dangerous? I'm saying she is empty in places she shouldn't be, Solera answered more quietly. An emptiness like that looks for something to fill it and takes it. I rubbed a hand over my sternum, feeling the steady heat where Solera lived, grounded and constant. I do not have time for this, I said. Ash is missing. The realm is shifting. I cannot afford distractions. Then do not ignore warnings, Solera replied. Fire does not whisper twice before it spreads. Her presence settled. Embers dimming but alert, watchful. I resumed walking, armor heavy on my shoulders, her unease echoing in my thoughts. I did not want to admit it, but my instincts and my phoenix were aligned. And that scared me more than if she had been wrong. We fly east, pushing hard toward the boundary where the land starts to thin and the shadows have been reported. The air grows colder the farther we go, the wind cutting sharper against my armor, tugging at my cloak like it wants to drag me back. Ronan and Kale flank me without needing to be told, our phoenixes beating in steady rhythm beneath us, their wings catching the fading light as the sun dips low. We spot shelter tucked against a rocky overhang, a shallow cave carved by time and weather, hidden enough to keep us out of sight, but open enough that we won't be trapped if trouble finds us. I signal, and we descend. The cave smells of damp earth and old moss. Wind howls past the opening but barely reaches inside, the stone walls blocking the worst of it. We clear the ground, stacking loose rocks near the entrance and setting our gear along the back wall. No fire, too visible this close to the boundary. Instead, the phoenixes coil nearby, their heat enough to take the edge off the cold. One by one, they lift off again, slipping into the dark sky without a sound, hunting. I feel Solera stretch within me, a low, focused warmth as he joins the others. Through our bond, I sense flashes, movement in the underbrush, the sharp thrill of pursuit, the clean finality of a kill. They don't take more than they need. When they return, meat drops onto the stone floor, and they cook it for us with their embers so we don't draw too much attention. We eat in silence, tearing into it with practiced efficiency. No complaints. No jokes. Out here, words are unnecessary and dangerous. Ronan takes first watch, while Kale and I settle back against the cave wall, and I drift off to sleep. This has been Embers in the Ashes. We thank you for tuning in to this latest episode, and we hope you enjoyed the chapter, and plan to listen to more coming soon. Make sure to check out our other social medias for more insight, teasers, behind the scenes, and more. Once again, thank you for listening.